Okay. First of all, my colleague Dragan and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the host and the Child Space 2025 team for the fantastic organization of this conference. The subject of our team is, as you see, the appearance of infantile and child scurvy in the Bishopric of Sirmia, the 17th-18th century necropolis at the site Palanka in Sremska Mitrovica. You can see here the position of archaeological site of Palanka. It was ancient Sirmium, today Sremska Mitrovica, on the map of Republic of Serbia. During the protective archaeological excavations carried out by the Institute for the Protection of Cultural Monuments in Sremska Mitrovica at Palanka site in the eastern part of the town in 2014 and 2016, 80 graves from the 17th-18th century period were discovered. The surviving of this necropole is exceptionally important, for we have an opportunity for the first time to learn details about the residents of the Sremska Mitrovica at the beginning of the modern age. The conducting analyses have enabled us to get insight into their health status, the influence of social and historical circumstances on the way of their life, beliefs, and habits. On the other hand, the funerary customs and grave finds, as you can see, primarily rosaries with religious medals, hairpins, as well as a fragment of gold work, speaks of the social status, belief of the cultural identity and the community. It is important to know that during the long, mostly turbulent past, Mitrovica have the status of an important political and ecclesial center of Sirmia, the area between Danube and the lower course of the Sava that constitute the border between the Pannonia Plain and the Balkan Peninsula, and often the border between the political, state, and church interest. The turning point in its development was brought by Mohač campaign of Sultan Suleiman II in 1521 until 1526, which resulted in the conquest of Mitrovica and the establishment of Ottoman rule in the entire Sirmia, as well as the major demographic changes. The changes of the government and the political factors was accompanied by a change in the composition of the population. The Muslim population occupied the city and the fortifications, while the settlements abandoned during the Ottoman campaign were inhabited by Transdanubian Serbs, Orthodox Christians, and Vlachs from Smederevo and Zvornik Sanjak. Mitrovica became a kind of demarcation point between the lower Sirmia, inhabited by schismatics, and the western part of the Sirmia, Sanjak, where the Slavic and Hungarian Catholic population and Protestants live. Already around the middle of the 16th century, Mitrovica became the seat of Sirmia, Sanjak, and by the beginning of the next century, its largest city too. Due to its sensitive position in the 17th century, it was fortified with a palanka, while the internal structure followed by a usual division into jamats and mahalas, depending on the denomination, with the tendency that Christians, towns, and mahalas were pushed in the periphery and reduced over time in terms of size. When the border between Turks and Austrians was set in the plain of Sirmia by the Treaty of Karlovic in 1699, Mitrovica remained in the hands of Ottomans up until the great Austrian victory of Petrovaradin in 1760. During the campaigns 2014 to 2016, a total of 80 graves from the period of 17th to 18th century were discovered in this necropolis. The skeletal remains of 15 individuals were available for the anthropological analysis. The examination degree of preservation of the skeleton corresponds mostly to the category second, which means well-preserved, incomplete skeletons. As it may be seen from this table 1, 20% are children of different age, 20% were juvenile individuals, while the 60% are adult individuals. In the case of juvenile and adult individuals, the paleopathological analysis have shown the presence of significantly higher number of different diseases. such as anomalies in the development of skeleton, joint diseases, changes of the bones caused by the blood disorder, cribra orbitalia and cribra femora, and, of course, healed bone fractures. When observing the dental material of this person, it may be noticed that there is significant presence of calculus. The presence of calculus, especially of the subgingival one, irritated the gums mechanically and encouraged the periodontal disease. It is possible that it was precisely the periodontal disease, in addition to caries, which is the main culprit for such a high number of teeth lost during the lifetime. On the basis of the microscopic examination of the entasis on the insertion of muscle, ligament, and tension, as well as the observed joint diseases, we got an impression that both male and female members of this community worked equally on hard physical activities. The anthropological analysis showed in grave 2 an infant of unknown sex, age 0 until 6 months, of medium body height of 57.4 centimeters. Degree of preservation of the skeletal remains belonged to the category 2nd, and the paleopathological analysis showed the presence of scurvy on the squama of the left temporal bone and on the petrosal part of the bone itself, on a fragmented of the sphenoid bone, on fragments on the frontal and parietal bones, on mandible, on both scapulas, on the left clavicula, and on the left humerus, and on the fragments of the long bones. A fragment of an animal bone was also found in a grave. As we talk about grave goods, you can see on this picture parts of gold work, a threaded interwire with a twin copper wire. This is the part of the decoration on fabric or a leather costume. The grave number 3 showed a child of unknown sex, age 13 to 14 years old, and the degree of preservation was the same, category 2. But in this grave on this skeleton, no pathological changes were found. And of course, no grave goods were found. Now we have the second grave. It's grave number 7B. The anthropological shows that a female child age around 6, of median height 98 centimeters, was buried in this grave. The degree of preservation of the skeletal remains belong to the category 2. And the paleopathological analysis showed the presence of scurvy in the shape of porotic lesions on both parietal bone, on the temporal bone, along the lambda, on suture, on the sphenoid bone, on the palatine, on both maxillas, on the preserved mandibular ramus, on the both femurs along the upper half of the body, from the medial and posterior sides of the toward the upper ends. On the right tibia, you can see here too, along the lower half of the body, from the medium and posterior side. On the roof of both orbits, it was possible to notice cribra orbitalia. Also, there were visible traces of resorption on the anterior sides of the thoracic vertebra as well. No grave goods were found. As for the children, the paleopathological analyses have shown the presence of scurvy in 2 individuals, cribra orbitalia in 1, and the resorption traces on the anterior sides of the thoracic vertebra bodies also in 1 individual. It is interesting to mention that none of these diseases mentioned here, except in the case of this child of unknown sex, age 0 until 6 months, where scurvy was discovered, could be the direct cause of death. The changes on the bones caused by blood disorders, such as cribra orbitalia, humera, and femora, are good indicators of subaltern stress and consequently on the health and nutrition status of ancient populations. They can also help us when assessing the living conditions of the archaeological population. Most of the authors link the appearance of cribra orbitalia with anemia, caused by iron deficiency. The factor was influenced this type of anemia are poor and inappropriate diet, unhygienic living conditions, chronic gastrointestinal and parasitic diseases, lead poisoning, changes in nutritional habits, and phytates-rich diet that disturb the iron absorption. However, some recent hematological research conducted by Walker and his associates showed that many cribrorbitalia lesions are a consequence, in fact, of megaloblastic anemia transferred to infants by nursing women or account of the depleted vitamin B12 reserves. Also, this type of anemia was subsequently contributed to the unhygienic living conditions that are suitable for the additional loss of nutrition or accounts of gastrointestinal infection during the weaning of infants. Particularly interesting were the case of 2 children in whom traces of infantile and child scurvy was found. Scurvy is disease caused by an insufficient intake of vitamin C, which is necessary for the creation of the connecting tissue collagen, osteoid and cement substance that connects endothelium cells of blood vessels. As opposite to vitamin D, vitamin C absorbic acid cannot be synthesized in human body. In order to survive, man must have sufficient quantity of vitamin C in the diet. Disease manifests directly in children and in adults, differently, in children and adults. In both forms, however, there are occasionally hemorrhage, bleeding in skin, mucous membranes, gum, muscles, and bones, which can cause anemia. The body gets the necessary quantity of vitamin C through almost all types of diet. Significant differences, a deficiency of the vitamin and the onset of scurvy is usually a consequence of natural or social disasters, such as long-term droughts or sieges. Also, it may be caused by specific cultural conditions, taboos about the use of certain food in the diet, or by a long-term diet with reduced quantity of certain foods. Finally, breast milk contains vitamin C, and scurvy may occur in the infants of vitamin C deficient mothers or in infants who are not breastfed. Taking into consideration that the living conditions in Sirmia were at the time mostly conditioned by the drought, or on the other hand, the constant problems with drinking water, floods, long-term contaminated of water, ponds, marshes, which would only partially be taken by Maria Teresa. The cause of that should most likely be look for the monotonous diet, respiratory and gastrointestinal infections, and malaria. When we look back to the archaeological context, we will see something else. The discussion element that characterized the burials in the partially survived Palanka necropolis in Sremska Mitrovica, primarily the position of the body and the goods that were placed in the deceased, as well as the placing of the body into a wooden coffin, fit into the picture of funerary practice in the region of Central Europe during the 17th and 18th century. The presence of saintly objects, the rosaries, with added religious medals and crosses, testified to the received remission, absolution, that is integral part of the Catholic funerary practice made official by the issuance of the Roman ritual in 1614. In addition to the spiritual role, the devotionals also played a decorative role, and as such they represented an individual within the society. Judging by the health status of the population, the living conditions in Mitrovica were very difficult at that time, both on account of the marshlands and the modest, monotonous diet, and the lack of drinking water, alongside physical work that men and women equally were exposed to. Because of all of that, the most probably cause of death, as we have already mentioned, were respiratory and gastrointestinal infections and malaria. Diseases affecting the inhabitants of all ages, possibly even entire families, judging by the results of the physical and anthropological analysis. In addition, the description of the graves in the wider area indicate a significant surface area of the cemetery, but it may also be an indicator of a small community of Christians in then Mitrovica. On the other hand, different objects, such as the fabrics with the gold work and devotion, suggest a better social status than the one that may be read from the bodily remains. The finds involving rosaries with religious medals convincingly testified to the burials of Christians who had received the sacrament of anointing of the sick in line with the rules of the Catholic Church. These finds lay ground for important questions concerning the time of the burials, the circumstances under which the rosaries were procured, or eventually who and under which circumstances could carry out the burial rites. According to the result of our analysis, the devotions were most probably manufactured in a workshop of Rome and Loreto during the 17th century, most likely in the decades around the middle of the century. They were acquired during the pilgrimage to the two most important European pilgrimage centers. Despite the fact that they were found as goods in female graves, the very notion that a woman personally undertook a long pilgrimage, which is demanding in every aspect, organization, physical and material, and during the unsafe time as predominant in this epoch, it is very unlikely. Because of this, we are prone to interpret their presence in the burial rites as a gift from the male person that had conducted the pilgrimage for the healing person, although we can exclude the possibility that this may have been a representative from Mitrovica Catholic community, bearing in mind that is so far considering circumstances under which members of this community lived in Mitrovica. It seems more probably that the pilgrimage was undertaken by some of the missionaries from Sirmia Bishopric, that is by somebody else, but in their name. The missionaries could most likely include priests from the Franciscan order, who very zealously took care of the faithful in the area under the Ottoman rule. Thank you for your attention.